It's yeah, I know you want
Okay.
to be monetized, but but here's my thing. It's like we have to understand that there is this and there's that. But what I would guard you against, Courtney, is seems like the Kevin Samuels Latina conversation, and then this next progression. You realize that Sinji came out of this space as well. And
Hmm.
sometimes when women are exposed to these ideas that come raw from the unfiltered from men, sometimes their result is to protect themselves and to become more guarded fortresses. And they come up with theories like
Like that.
elimination of black men at birth. You know what I'm saying? Like so it's just radicalization at this point. Sin
Yes.
is on a radical tear right now. But she literally came out of these very same
Yeah.
YouTube
I want
spaces.
to speak on that too. Two things that you said. But first, women that are here and turn into the Cynthia G's. I can believe it. Me being, I'm 38 and I have a child. The
What?
comments. Oh, no, wait
Oh my
a minute
God.
No,
now.
I thought you was younger than that.
Wow.
Okay,
Okay.
you're an adult.
Them
Hey, no,
TikTok, them
I'm
Look
grown,
good for
grown.
your
yeah,
age.
them
How about
TikTok
that?
like she
Okay, this thing
25.
is grown,
Right?
grown,
Yeah.
grown.
This
Yeah,
thing.
okay. I
Okay.
didn't.
All
Right.
right.
Well, that's fine. I'll take that as a compliment. But
Mhm.
I am. And being in this space, again, oh my God. Do you know how many times I hear that? Do you know how many comments I get? Oh shit, you almost 40. You your sexual market value. You got a baby. Don't nobody want you. You're gonna die alone. You're gonna get a puppy. When I hear that on a daily basis, when I open up my phone and I see a comment that say you ain't nothing but a lonely baby mama, how do you it deals with your psyche here as a woman? So am I gonna be a Cynthia G? No, I'm a
But
I'm
but
Yep. Go come on with the
let
butt.
me
I
let
hear it.
me
Come on, Doc.
let me get it out. Now I'm solid. I got good people around me that keep me leveled. Again, that's why therapy is important to understand relationship and coping mechanisms because this space is not for the weak. But it also, there's been times where I had to take a hiatus. I had to get offline. I had to get off this because it does. It just depends on the type of person and who you are, how it's going to affect you. And that's why
But
you got to surround yourself with good people. That's why, again, I say therapy. So I can see how someone can just go off the top and as a woman if you've made decisions that the Black Manosphere deem is unredeemable.
but Courtney, just as many people have said negative things about you as people have said good things about you,
Well,
but
yeah,
that's what I
you're
was getting to.
focusing on
yeah,
the
I wouldn't
negative
say
things.
yeah,
That's
I
what I
wouldn't
was
use
getting to.
your
I'm
nice
sure
things.
both of their DMs, dudes be hitting them up like, hey,
All
let me take
Oh
day.
you in it.
yes.
That's
They're
why I
like
was like, nah, hold on. Like, I'm
she
sure
she
that
she
Come
just
on now.
put a video the other day.
man,
She's
I'm
walking down the street.
sure
I
that
saw that.
the
Yeah, yeah.
DMs, yeah. See,
Uh-huh.
so
Yeah.
come on now.
So that's what
Anywho,
I'm saying. Like, why are
but
we allowing negative stuff
Right.
to push you
well,
into a place of
I'm not
radicalization?
getting
You know,
pushed with Cynthia G, but
right?
if I'm telling the honest truth, it does have as far as with women because we take in that stuff a little differently, I think, than men. Like we open ourselves up. We're more emotional, obviously. So something that can affect me might not affect you as a man. But what
I
I'm
just throw
saying is
some
that
dirt on it.
it's but she's just an extreme, and that's a lot of times when you hear a lot of stuff online, you don't know how it's going to take or how people react. Again, that's why I always push therapy, therapy, therapy. But Fawcett, you said something else that I wanted to talk about besides the Cynthia G.
Uh, every man has a bit of Pookie, has a bit of Ray
Right.
Ray,
So can
possibly,
we not admit
potentially.
that maybe it's not just a group of men that's just Pookie and Ray Rays, that we've all been a Pookie and Ray Ray to a woman, and that we've all been a good man
Listen,
to a woman. Like we gotta also understand that I could look at you, Derek, as a Pookie and Ray Ray, and the world could look at you as uh,
Before I
problem.
agree to that, that means the same apply to the woman. There's
Oh,
always a little chicken
absolutely.
head in every woman.
Oh,
Yeah.
he went
Derek
chicken
can look
head.
at me as
Wow.
a thought, and the next man
so
can look at me as a
Because
wife.
I got cheated on.
Well,
Bef- I had to walk in on my ex-girlfriend cheating on me.
Man, who did that?
Yes,
Who did that,
yes.
man? Y'all going to
I
hell. Whoever
I
said
did
had
that.
to
that.
get him. I
I
had
had
to
to
get the
catch
black
my
baby. I
other
love you, brother.
ex-girlfriend
Come
denying that
on,
she didn't cheat
man.
on me
Yo,
and
wow.
found the condom in the back of her bed.
Damn.
What is going on?
Those
Make
traps
that
The
in
sound.
love.
Mr. Nice Guy that some of these chicken head choose to mess around with and do them dirty. Because I'm not a Pookie or Ray Ray, so I'm easy to play the game behind my back. Isn't it? Really?
Come
I'll
on,
try to
bro.
be the next Anton Dan in my 20s until I find my wife at an early age. But I
So
deal with the fake woman like chicken head. So you think I'm going to accept that?
Canadian born, you from Brooklyn though, right? You live
Yeah,
in Brooklyn.
wait,
There's a certain swagger you have to survive in Brooklyn. Trust me, I
I
lived
know
in
that.
New York.
I
You know
know that,
what
but
I'm saying?
I'll call the white preppy boy because I didn't act like the hood dude.
Right.
Even though I am pure grade A, no filter in black.
Damn.
Well, just because you're a nerd don't mean you can't be trash. You
Yeah.
just
No,
smart.
Hey,
they consider the Pookie and the
I
Way
mean,
call
I'm
me
just
lame.
saying.
The
Yeah.
Pookie
So,
and the Way
What
call me
happened
corny.
after you found the condom and
The
stuff?
Pookie and the Way say I got no swag.
yeah,
So
I
I get
want
it
to know
from the
too, Casa.
guys and
What
Well,
from
happened
the
I,
after you,
female.
well,
I
Black
want to
Dave,
what
know.
I
happened
know
after you
you're
found
not a.
the
When you
condom
found
and
the
all that
condom,
in the
what did you
bed?
do?
come on, y'all. Don't even go.
He
Y'all.
went and got the guns. He went and got the guns and started tearing up the block. That's
And
what
He
he
but
got
did.
the
you,
blicky.
you
He
about
went
to
out.
die. You
What
about
the
to
He went
die.
to
blinky
bed
do?
start doing that.
I'm going to
Y'all,
kill him.
Get the blicky.
y'all,
Yep.
This is the thing. This is the thing. I have my Pookie and Ray Ray quality. I admit, even still now, that's why I stay away from them. I love hoes. That's the environment I came up with. Birds, I love them, but I know they're bad for me. They're like fast food. I can't. So I stay working. I stay involved in stuff I need to be doing to occupy my time, so I don't get involved with them. And I like malt liquor, which I stopped drinking. So it's like I still got elements of
I just
the
want to
core
say thank
makeup.
you. Thank you for admitting that there are remnants of Pookies and Ray Rays. Just like men like to
Not,
say, I mean, I'm just admitting it. That doesn't mean you have to actually act upon what you
yeah,
what's in
I
you.
mean,
Right.
when I
But I
was
just want to
back
say thank you
home,
for admitting
yeah.
that it's there. Because it's people that's like, you either Pookie and Ray Ray or you're not, and it's like, okay,
Nah,
at
I
some
know.
point.
I grew up on the east side of Cleveland. I'm from Ohio. Moved to Dayton. That's what was around me. Birds. So the hoes was around me. That took years of getting out, not dealing with them, going into the military. Living abroad, seeing something new. But at the heart, when I see it, that's what I'm like. Man, that look. But it's like, man, she got different color braids. She'll probably scratch my car up, do something wild. It's not good for me. I get it, but hey.
But how can I accept the Pookie away? Because you know why? At one point, I almost decided to date a Chinese woman because of that.
Oh my God.
let me
In
say
my
this,
early
y'all.
20s, to get cheated on not once, not twice, more than 3 or 4 times,
Yo, you know what? I'm about to
I
leave.
felt, I felt, I felt like, oh, I gotta be a Pookie and Wayward not to be cheated on. Really?
Well,
Really? Are you serious about that? I
well, I
took a
think
1 year hiatus from women altogether, threw myself in the gym and work out like a damn hermit. When girls tried to chase me down, I turned them down like they were virus. I'm like, hell no. Oh, now because I'm buff and big all the time, I'm now sexy to you? Get the hell out of here. Are you kidding me?
oh dear.
Uh,
Well, let me
When you say everyone have a little Pookie and
Black
Wayward,
Dave.
that trigger me.
I
It's a
see.
trigger point because it's telling
It
me
triggered
He's
Black
I
David.
triggered.
had
I love
to,
you, man. I love you. You made it. You made it. You married now,
Yeah,
Black
you all
David.
right? You married? Got
You
yeah.
married. You
But
kids?
made it,
I
Black
wanted to be married in my 20s, not in my 30s. That was the difference. I wanted to avoid the dating scene. 10 years
Well,
of the dating scene pissed me off so much.
Yeah, it hurt him.
It
It did.
did.
yeah, did.
So when they said there's a little Pookie and Wayway, it's kind of like, oh, hell no.
I
I'm not
love
going to
you,
go
Black
after
David.
every chicken head and take them out one by one. You did it to me. You did that to me. You did that to me. But I didn't do that. I had to take, you know what? Screw them. So that's why my wife is from Trinidad and Tobago. She's not from the U.S. If I had to go further, I would have gone to another country to find my wife. That's how bad I wanted to go.
Let me say
That
this,
is
y'all.
real.
Let me say
Yeah.
this.
I
Every
love you,
single
Black
last one of us, when we were younger, all of us had a little Pookie and Ray Ray mentality at one point or another. And when we grow, it all comes down to who can grow out of it. And it seems like every single last one of us grow out of that your mentality, but there are some who do not.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you something. I'm a Generation Xer, and you would be shocked that there are some Generation Xers who still have that Pookie and Ray Ray in them, which is really shocking. So the ideal of this Pookie and Ray Ray mentality is to try to learn from the mistakes of having that mentality. I know all of us did, but some of us didn't.
Let me get Sir, was it Supreme Clientele? How are you doing?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. What do you have on the topic, sir?
How's everybody doing this evening?
Well,
I think it would do us as a whole a good service if we understood the laws of attraction. In the laws of attraction, there's no absolute. Everybody's not going to epitomize what you're looking for.
mm-hmm.
If they did, you wouldn't have value in it. The only reason why you value the ones who epitomize what you're looking for, because there are those who don't. The problem is you choose to focus on the ones who don't epitomize 80% of what you're looking for, because you choose to gravitate towards 20% of what you want. You have one of the most powerful weapons in your arsenal. You have free will. You don't have to be with someone you don't want to be with.
That's true.
No one's forcing you to be in a relationship with someone that's counterproductive. Because at the gist of it, that's what a Pookie and Ray Ray is. It's just someone who's counterproductive. And at any given time, anybody can be counterproductive, but you can't be counterproductive and productive at the same time. You can't occupy two different spaces at the same time. You can't sit on your couch and sit in your chair at the same time. Can any man at any given time demonstrate the qualities of a Pookie and Ray Ray? Yeah, because any man can be lazy.
Mm-hmm.
Just like any woman can be a whore.
Well, all right.
But just because you have the ability to be that doesn't mean that that's what you are at that given time.
Mm-hmm.
The Sphinx in Egypt has an animal body with a human head on top of it. The symbolism is man's need to rise above his own innate animal nature.
Bolo.
There's nature and then there's nurture. The problem with most women of color in America is that their nature has been amplified due to their nurture.
Explain that a little bit more if you can.
By nature, you're selfish.
Is that women's nature or human nature?
All creatures are selfish by nature. Nurture is what determines whether or not you continue to operate like that or not. Men learn by nature the hard way. If you don't work, you don't eat.
Exactly.
Die, right.
Cause and effect, right? If I don't get out there and grind, I'm gonna go without. You, on the other hand, if you don't go out there and grind, you'll get Section 8.
Food stamps.
You'll get food stamps.
What?
Hold on. You'll get alimony.
Well, let's go back. Men can get Section 8, and they do.
No, he can't. Man cannot get Section 8. Section 8 is for women with children.
WIC is with that. You can get
no. WIC is, hold on. WIC is food stamps. You have to fall below a certain income threshold for WIC.
You're absolutely
Section
right.
8 is for single parents, and that's for women.
Yeah, for the most part.
Yep.
I
Most
just
men,
googled it. I just
And the
googled it.
disabled-
Section
disabled
8 is
people.
for a single person. It does not. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not for a male or a female.
Lauren, nothing from nothing.
There's men
Lauren,
on
hold
Easier
on.
to get as a woman.
Nothing for nothing. Just because they say that, don't make it so. I know women directly who work in the program. The
woman
folks
with
who get
children.
Section 8 are women. Most men don't
They
get
make
children. Most
references.
men are not in that situation.
They may
They
get elevated. They
generalize
may
it
get.
as
Hold on. So Section 8, because I know a couple men that were on Section 8. They was using the system, but men can get on Section 8. Men can get on food
okay.
stamps.
Okay, so let's do this because you two choose to be pedantic. Awesome. Okay, you understand statistics. When they do polls, there's the majority and then there's the outliers. Do you believe that the majority of the folks on Section 8 are men with children?
Well, this is
That's
what
a yes or no. Do you believe the majority of men?
Wait a minute. We're gonna be respectful on my platform, okay?
Absolutely.
Okay. So what I'm saying, I'm not doing the percent of majority or minority. What I'm saying is that men can get Section 8. It's
So
not.
you're arguing the absolute term.
I'm not arguing. I'm
Well,
stating
you're making an absolute point, Michelle. Your absolute point is men can get Section 8.
They can. So
That's
that's
your point.
Now, whether or not
nothing
it
from
happens often is not that has nothing to do with what we just said.
so then here's the question. If we can come to common accord that the majority of the recipients of Section 8 are not men, what is the point of pointing out that men can get it?
Because it's written. It's in the.
But what is the point? What is the point that's being made? Most men don't even get their children in custody battles. So what's the point of pointing out that some men do?
Okay, the importance of it is that we're not going to get on here and state something that's not true. So when you got on here, you said
okay.
that,
So let me rephrase it for you.
Let her finish, please. Can she finish?
Hold on. Hold on. Let me say something real quick. Hey, so Supreme Clientele. Hey, this is Courtney's platform, man. You got to let her finish her sentences. She runs this entire thing. This is hers. So out of respect, allow her to run her own show.
I mean, thank you, Black.
Absolutely.
So again, the clarification is because you got on here and said men cannot get. So we have to be very careful with our words. Now, if we want to talk the percentage, we definitely can, but you can't get on here and say something that's completely false. Now, if you want to carry on, you definitely can, but that was the only clarification. Black men can get it, whether they choose to get to or not. That's a whole nother conversation.